Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're going to be talking a little bit more about Zen. So, I've been doing a little bit of Zen practice on my own for the upcoming Battle Hardened, which, if any of y'all are there, feel free to come say hi. But yeah, practicing a little bit of Zen on my own. But I wanted to take this episode to kind of do a little bit of experimentation because we recently just saw a ban with the Zephyr needles, and in recent past, I think what is kind of helpful to try out, especially like when we saw like the CY ban and stuff, is just play the band stuff anyways. Needles obviously makes that quite hard because that's a weapon, which is always in play. But we're going to basically try it with Kodachi. So that's kind of my plan for the episode today. I wanted to kind of play test this and see where this version of the deck is kind of at. And I've stole this list from I think Daniel Rutkowski. He's I think Runaways adjacent. And he was talking about this on Blue Sky. So I wanted to give this list a shot. I've slightly modified a couple things here, just kind of to be a little bit more than my liking. Like I think he only had like two chase tails, two aspects, and like I think he went up on a Monkey, and I think I caught like some of the yellow. What is it called? Pick up the points. Yeah, but I wanted to kind of give this shell a rough kind of try. So that we're running like pretty good ratios, 29 blues and then 31 other colors. And then sideboard is wax on, wax off, cosmics, key unleashed, and then quick dodge, and then extra. I basically also slotted like two concealed blades in just because I think that banishing the Kodachis is kind of pretty painful in this deck. So wanted to have a little bit of safety against that in case we need a backup plan. It's pretty low opportunity cost. It's blue. Yeah, but this is majority, like most of this list, I think without like these changes are pretty much straight from Daniel himself. So wanted to give this deck a spin and see if this deck still has legs because when you look at kind of like cards like Upsticks, we lost a lot of damage here. We're basically losing like I think 3 damage over the course of the combo. So this is now I think kind of almost like a 2-card 8 at this point, or like a lot closer to a 2-card 8 instead of like a 2-card 10 or something. Uh, Definitely a little bit harder to kind of evaluate the numbers, especially because like you're not always guaranteed to be able to like flick the other Kodachi, and like it gets a little bit awkward. But yeah, we're gonna give this deck list a try and see how it goes. I think the numbers are significantly worse, but I just want to kind of test the concept to see if it still is like so. Again, this is not what I'm currently testing for my own personal Zen list. I think this is kind of like a little bit outside the bounds because especially after eating a ban, it is a little bit less appetizing. But we want to go ahead and give it a try just to make sure that it still potentially has legs. So yeah, with that, let's go ahead and get into some games. We've got Arakni Marionette. I think I generally like still going second into Assassin. They do get the added benefit of like marking and stuff. Let's go ahead and play for I think the little bit of the longer game. So we'll bring in like maybe Shuko and Kasaya. That seems correct, and then we can maybe bring in some of our wax package. I don't know if Cosmics is necessary, but maybe bring in some Cosmics as well. I don't typically like fat decking Mario. So I'm looking to cut a couple cards here. I'll send them a good luck, have fun though. I don't think we need to really sweat Concealed Blade if we're not running Flick, although we could actually try out Flick. Maybe let's try out Flick just because I think this might go to like a longer game and recurring the dagger seems good. And then what else do we want to cut? Could maybe cut the CNCs, but I don't really mind the CNCs against Arakni. Could fat deck a little. I don't know. Let's cut the CNCs. I don't think that's correct, but I don't really know what else. Maybe Bidding Thrones is actually worse. Yeah, maybe we'll run 63 and see how it goes. It's more so testing out the game plan that I kind of want to do today as opposed to testing out like individual card choices. So I think fat decking is kind of fine here. All right, we see the Hunter's Clave coming in early. Opponent is on Flick Knife, Flexors, and a Blood Splatter Vest, which is pretty aggressive. We'll go ahead and block with the Mighty Breeze here. And our plan is to probably just block with these two other cards. All right, opponent will send in a Kiss of Death. I think I will just block with Chase the Tail here and then hold on to levels and homage if I can. All right, they're going to go ahead and apply the mark. Which is not the end of the world. We're pretty much, if they want to like use up a dagger to apply the mark early, I think that's kind of okay with us. All right, and then they will send in a Take Up the Mantle. Which I guess just buffs this. Sure. All right, so we'll leak a little bit of damage here. I think we're leaking 6 damage total, which is not ideal. All right, and then they have pain in the backside to finish it up. So they can remark 2. It's kind of gross, but stack out actually kind of outputs a little bit of damage here. It's kind of crazy. All right, and then they get to reapply the mark for free. So pretty good turn for them, honestly. It's like a 4-card 16 or something. What's that? They had Kiss of Death, this. And then a blue. How much damage was it? This is like a lot of damage, right? All right. Anyways, all right. They get Funnel Web, which will disincentivize us from keeping an arsenal. So I think we're just gonna go for the double transcend. The question is, I guess, what order do we want to do it in? Let's go ahead and start. Maybe we just want to use these two actually. That might be better than just arsenaling this anyways. It's definitely a little bit. I guess we need some card to pitch to Kodachi's too. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of awkward things going on here. Maybe we actually have to like pitch this Kodachi to keep the sticks around. So let's go ahead and pitch the homage, which is, it feels a little bit awkward here, but I think we actually need to do this to enable the up sticks. All right, we'll send in the other one. It's already feeling a lot weaker. All right, we'll go ahead and flick here. Pass. All right, so let's go ahead and do the up sticks so that we can pass over. Pay a resource to retrieve the dagger. Pass over so that we gain a resource. Let's go ahead and banish, I think, Kiss of Death, just so they can't do weird take up the main soul shenanigans. Gain a resource. We already have Balloon Pitch, so we can Kodachi safely, and then we can get like a 0 cost like Tiger Swipe. I think we don't want to arsenal this as well. So let's just get Swipe here. Send Swipe, send pick up the point, and then their Funnel Web is pretty bad at this point. I don't think there's any real reason to kind of like try to defend here. All right, we don't have Shuko notably, so the Tiger not get buffed or anything. All right, we'll go ahead and just pass back. So we were able to send 13 damage there. 4-card 13 that also puts Transcendent deck. Is that good? It's like fine. It's okay, I guess. It's not like crazy numbers. It's definitely not as good as it was before. Our next hand's not bad though. Cosmics are a little bit awkward, especially in this kind of Kodachi version of Zen, but definitely interesting. All right, opponent is going to up sticks. Oh, we had the chance to banish their dagger, didn't we? Yeah, we totally did, didn't I? Okay, that was immediately a punt. I forgot that they were on up sticks. I do not actually have a ton of reps into Mario. But yeah, I think that was obviously a punt to not banish the dagger. All right, well that's more of a rep issue because I think that I have seen up sticks, but I think I just forgot about that they run this. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just re-get marked. Not the end of the world here. Basically just 5 damage unless they do something weird. All right, so they will go for Tarantula Toxin. Oh, I did want to actually talk. So I've gotten enough reps into Mario specifically to know about Tarantula Toxin. So any dagger that has stealth, you almost never want to block. This dagger notably does not have stealth, so this is just getting the +3. But if you ever have a situation where you're playing against like Kiss of Death or like a Graphene Chelicera or whatever, you pretty much never want to block. Okay, they are going to get a pain in the backside. That's fine. Just get levels here. Discard sticks. Then we can like block with Traverse if we really want to. It's kind of tempting. Then what is our play? We maybe actually should have gotten Chase in retrospect. Maybe that's better. All right, we're going to go ahead and block with Traverse here. I think we'll just cash in the value. I don't think I necessarily like my play of just getting levels. I think I like defaulted to it based on the hand, but feels like there's maybe something better we could have done. So one notable thing about Kodachi is also, specifically in this current metagame, I've seen a lot of frailty tokens going around, like people just running frailty traps or like Codex of Frailty. Well, Codex of Frailty, a mainstay, right? But lots of frailties in the current format, so Kodachi is obviously significantly worse in that kind of environment. All right, let's go ahead and do our levels though. We can get another swipe here, and Arsenal backs off. It's probably the best option, and then we can buff this. Alternatively, we can go for a card draw. But I think we'll just go for the swipe here. So we'll do draw. No, we'll do buff go. I think that's reasonable. All right, opponent will go for Mask of Deceit. So they get to pick their Arakni if they so desire. All right. Oh, we gotta redo again. All right, we'll do buff go. All right, opponent maybe didn't want to go for Arakni there. That's fine. All right, now they'll go for the mask. They get Trapdoor here. We're actually kind of fine because we can just send CNC and then they kind of get punished. I wonder if Trapdoor is like the default or if they try to do something else. All right, this person's going for Black. I've seen a lot of people just default to Trapdoor. I don't know if that's correct. Black Widow also seems like fine to me, for sure. Black Widow, I think, is one of the stronger ones. Trapdoor also seems really strong. The other ones kind of seem like whatever to me. Trying to think, the Graphene Chelicera one also is like pretty good depending on kind of like the board state. But this hero is still very weird to me. Definitely gonna take a little bit of getting used to. The one nice thing about this hero for Zen in particular is that you're able to play levels, which I think is real good. All right, opponent is going to be blocking with Saber Bloodshed. Okay, maybe something else. All right, opponent's just gonna no blocks this. So we get, what do we get out of them? We get a Justinic destroyed from Arsenal. We get to set up a wax off. Things are looking good. All right, so they go for the Saber Bloodshed, which we knew about, and then into a Mark of the Black Widow. So this is the banish a card from hand one. So whenever you hit up marked here with the dagger this turn, so they can just fling this at me to guarantee the card draw. And I guess what is their source to go again? They could have that what is that card? The card that gives go again to if your hero's marked and costs one less. I forget exactly. It's like Shroud of the Redbacker. Is that the card name? I think we're gonna just say no blocks on this and try to, if they pump it, we can double react. If they don't pump it, then it's also, I think, fine. All right, so they do get a card draw. So they want to see the card draw first before they blood splatter. That's good sequencing on their part. So now the question is, do we want to just let this hit, or do we? I guess if we let it hit, we'd have to banish 2 cards from hand, which is not ideal. So I think we will go to cover it. They draw into another react, so that's maybe just unlucky. I think if we want to be a little bit safer, maybe we try to block with like Malinki or whatever, but it seems like we're not getting punished here. All right, they'll revert to Mario. We'll do Rising Sun. Ooh, we can do Chase Aspect, and that is very, very nice. All right, so we'll let the Wind Chakra resolve and grab it. This is kind of what I wanted to go up on Chase the Tail, just so you have more chances of drawing into one or the other, and then Chi. Seems real strong, even in like a more dagger-oriented build. I basically cut like the yellow pick up the points, which I think are kind of weaker now that you don't just spam Zephyr Needles. All right, so they're going to activate the quick dodge flexors. Sure. So functionally, they're getting 4 extra block here, which is not bad. We do still have our own quick dodge, though. All right, so they're going to shelter as well. It's kind of interesting. I guess that makes sense. That still kind of fits the blocking curve, I guess. Because now they can block Aspect and then Tiger as well. All right, so we're going to get them down to 14. They get to keep a 3-card hand, which is pretty good for them. I think Codex is like worst case scenario here, but they haven't seen a leave no yet. So it's kind of like not even that good. All right. But they did get a decent amount of value out of their flexors. I feel like I've been having a hard time myself just like getting the flexors. Yeah, I think that not going for that needle banish is going to punish us pretty hard. They've definitely gotten, I feel like, a lot of value from their upsticks this game that they probably wouldn't have otherwise gotten if we didn't pass over. All right, so we have a Mark of the Black Widow. Can't just wax off this, but then what is our turn? It's not very good. Could do like upsticks, Kodachi aspect, and then do that. We probably should try to cover this if we can. So I think we will try to go for the block. If they react or something, then I don't think we go for it. Maybe we just accept the banish. Black's on a very, very solid package into Marionette, though. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's start with Kodachi, I guess. We could also Arsenal the Aspect just to kind of insulate us against Codex. They still have 2 Codexes left. All right, and they would have drawn, or they had 2 of them. Okay, very interesting. Looks like they're probably going to just scoop it up, though. This team wasn't terrible. Definitely felt like we had a couple like kind of clunky hands, especially with Kodachis and like the frailty tokens. So I don't know. Still kind of on the fence on this particular build, but it doesn't like we're able to kind of contend with it pretty well. Let's see if we can get another. All right, so we've got an Ira. Still like going second to Ira. And then what kind of package? I think we just want the full-on aggro package, maybe with quick dodge. Do we want any wax on, wax off stuff? I don't think we do. I feel like we're just supposed to send it in this matchup. Sure. Let's try it. I'm really hoping that this is not the best thing to be doing with Zen. Because it really does feel like it's kind of boring. All right, they're going to go for a Kodachi. I do think we want to just probably max filter with our hand. Like, we do probably want to hold on to levels, but I think I'm just fine just, like, trying to block out as much as possible. Probably give another block on the Kodachi and then, like, another 2 block here. This also denies, like, the cut through, I think, is the card. Because they're not going to be hitting with needles. So we did deny that. They could notably flick knives still, though, to give this go again. So I think we'll just block here. If they want to flick knives, I think that's fine. They can still give a go again, keep a 2-card hand, and mace one other thing at us. Okay, they're not going to go for it, though. Sure. Maybe just playing around Passover or something. Seems kind of reasonable. All right, so we've got a really, really good hand. So I think the upsticks here is going to be pitch. The levels is going to be our first attack. What's our second attack? The second attack is Tiger, probably. Opponent has invited us to chat. Oh, we have a fan. All right. You're not going to be a fan anymore after this shit, though. All right, Passover. Unfortunately, we don't get a Passover on the Kodachis, but I think it's still fine to just use here. All right, we got the levels, we got the transcend. So notably, we still need 2 resources. So we get a 1 cost. We're not getting. I think we just go for draw go and then get a tiger swipe just because it's a 0 cost. We do levels, draw go. Alright, we draw Crane, which will be good for next turn. I think this deck is kind of gross sometimes, maybe. Losing Kasaya feels weird. I don't know if I'm sold on the Blood Splatter Vest, but the rest of it seems kind of dumb. Alright, we have Kodachi coming in, sure. No reason to gain the resource, I think. We'll just play the dual threat, play out Tiger, Tiger Swipe, Kodachi, and probably be in a pretty good spot. Don't think there's any reason to flick knives either. But this turn is pretty kind of disgusting, honestly. So how much damage is this? This is like a 4-card. Alright, they have a flick back here. It's pretty good. So if you ignore the flick flack, that's -4, so it's 4-card 15 that also draws a card. It's pretty good numbers. Alright, put it on double flick flack, which maybe signifies that they had a little bit of an awkward hand. But we do have a nice little Transcend set up for our arsenal. And we could probably just keep sending these dual threats, which is kind of disgusting. Alright, we'll say no blocks on the Kodachi. See if they want to gain a resource here. I don't think there's been a strong reason for us to try to gain a resource yet. Now the question is, I guess, do we want to try to go for a block on this, or do we want to block later? I feel like giving them a card draw is maybe okay. Seems pretty unlikely that we're going to be able to block all their stuff anyways. Alright, still no resources gained, which maybe signifies that they just have like a decent hand. Alright, we do have the option to block with the dual threat, but I think we're just planning on sending it next turn, so I think there's no reason to block here. So they'll get their mass trigger, which is fine. They also get an additional +1 damage from Kodachi. But not much we can do here. I think our hand will just probably outdamage their hands, even through a card draw. Okay, Censor is a little bit scary. So how do we want to deal with Censor? Can we actually just play through Censor? Like, what if we send Biting Breeze, Kodachi, pitching the other Biting Breeze? No, that doesn't work. I think we do need to block this. It kind of sucks. But maybe that's okay. They almost certainly name like Crouching Tiger at this point. So what do we want to do? Dual Threat's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. This is a tough one. We could... What if we do Kodachi, Biting Breeze, Close Chain, Kodachi, Biting Breeze? Kind of works. It's not very good, but it does probably just dodge the Censor. Not entirely sold on this, but let's see what they name. They could just not name Crouching Tiger, and maybe that's good for us. But I'm almost certainly that they're going to name Crouching Tiger. Alright, they have chosen the correct play, I think. Alright, let's go ahead and start with the Biting Breeze. Notably, if we hit with this, we cannot play the Tiger. Alright, so they have wisely let it hit. Now we can pitch this. I guess... I don't even think this is good, if I'm being honest. I feel like just doing, like, maybe block with the dual threat and the Biting Breeze was better than maybe trying to go for whatever this line is. Yeah, I think this is maybe just me being tired. It's currently, like, I think 11 or 10 at night. Will not gain the Bloodstain counter. Let's go ahead and close the chain, play out the dual threat, and I guess just play out these two. I don't know. kind of works, but also kind of doesn't really. I guess it's like 4-card 10. It's pretty terrible. I think what if we did up 6? How much damage is that? That's 2-card 6? Or 2-card 6 if you include the blood splattered. Alright, they have another flick. Pretty solid in this matchup. I guess we'll just finish on the Mighty Reese. We still have the Transcend loaded up in Arsenal, and we also have access to our Traverse. But yeah, I think that maybe going for an up 6 line is like slightly more damage. It's kind of hard to visualize what that line is, though. Like, we do Kodachi, which is 2 damage, and then like Flick, which is 3, Rebuy Dagger, Play Dagger, 7. This is like 2-card 7. Yeah, I'm not sure. Alright, but we'll go ahead and just pass back here. I do get a 4-card hand. Our hand is really good, though. Okay. So I think our play is to probably go for a Traverse block on second Kodachi and see what they do based on that. See if they gain a resource here. Could definitely end up in a situation where maybe we don't want to do that. Okay, so they don't really have a source of go again, naturally. Yeah, I'm really missing Kasaya, I feel like. Like, I think the Bloodspire thing is cute, but maybe it's too it's like, maybe the format has slowed to the point where, like, this is not actually as good as it was with Zephyr Needles. I think we're actually going to just pass on this Tiger. Again, I think I want to try to be a little bit aggressive in this matchup just because I think that... Ooh, they got a dual threat. Very nice. All right, coming in with the Kodachi. So notably, this does reset the mask. So I'm kind of glad we didn't block. Let's go ahead and just pass here. I think our plan is to try to just dodge a CNC with our Grain plus Ocean. All right, looking for Scrap. Pretty solid as well. All right, no Gogan on this because they don't have a thing to banish. Yeah, I think we're just going to drop plus green this and then try to just send our whole hand at them. Definitely feel like I'm missing the Kasaya a lot just based on kind of like the resources for our hands. All right. Shit. One other thing I noticed is that we don't have a 0 cost anymore for Kodachis, which immediately makes this incredibly awkward. Yeah, this deck is very, very clunky. We can still play it, though. It's just the problem is the Kodachi want to go again, so we need to get something that has go again and then treat Kodachi as a chain ender, which kind of sucks. So I guess the answer is probably going to be Tiger Swipe here, and then we'll just send the full chase aspect line at them. And then maybe Arsenal up sticks or something. It's definitely awkward. Can maybe also put a Kodachi in graveyard, because we're probably not going to get like banished or anything. Let's go ahead and go for it. All right, they have Fate. Very react heavy Ireless so far. Kind of cool. Maybe leaning more on reacts just because the Zephyr Needles and stuff got cut, which makes sense. We are sending a lot of damage though, and we do still have access to Traverse, so we're not in like a terrible spot here yet. But I do think that our hands have been a little bit subpar. Can actually flick a dagger here, rebuy the dagger, and then attack with it. Maybe that's better than keeping an Arsenal against Ira. I think I'll just go for it. Alright, they do have Sync, which is okay with me. Blood Splattered is notably not useful. We will just go ahead and rebuy the dagger, and then just send it in for 5. It's better than nothing. And at least puts us out of CNC range. Or puts us outside of caring about CNC at least. Like, I feel like this deck is definitely playable. Like, it's playable than a lot of other CC decks, but Oh, we did dodge CNC, which is very nice. All right, it's like a lot more playable than a lot of other kind of like CC decks, like Guardian or whatever, but still feels like we're missing out on a lot of that power that was initially there with the Zephyr Needles. Like maybe just a normal like what cards are we like winning with at this point? And I feel like the cards that we're winning with are like the levels transcend stuff as opposed to like the dagger stuff, I guess, is my kind of take on it. All right, putting out a little bit of weaker hand though with looking for scrap plus up sticks, so a little bit unfortunate for them. We do get a nice little levels into potentially a throw dagger, pick up the point thing, which is okay. I still feel like we're not just getting like the numbers that we need. All right, looks like they might have. Sure. All right, Garrett Arch first. Yeah, definitely a very unfortunate hand for our opponent. Okay, let's go ahead and just start with the levels though. Let's get our Mauling Key, I guess, as just a chain ender, and we'll do Draco. All right, Bittering Throats is potentially a good draw. We do have a 0 cost and pitch, so our Kodachis are now live, which is also, I think, a plus for us. We have to pick up the point to also rebuy Dagger. The question is, I guess, do we think we're drawing into a blue? I guess we can start using our Bloodstained Vest counters, depending on how they block. I think we want at least maybe like 1 or 2 of these, which we can easily get with like Flick plus Throw. All right, so we'll get our Stain counter on that. Let's follow up with Bittering, I guess. Just send a bunch of damage at them. This deck is very, very, like, it's clunky, but I feel like there is, like, maybe some amount of power here. I guess I feel like we're just not, maybe just slightly below, like, normal Zen numbers is maybe what it feels like. I feel like we've definitely been a little bit actively hurt by the Kasaya up until this point. All right, let's go ahead and get the Throw Dagger online. So we can draw another card. We draw into levels, which is insane. We will add another Stain counter, I think, just to kind of make the good use out of it. And let's rebuy Dagger. Do we want... I guess we can maybe Arsenal this levels. It's a little bit awkward. We might just use a Flick to gain another Blood Splatter Vest counter so we can play levels and then play Mauling. It's pretty gross. Let's do, I guess, draw go again. You do draw buff too. Or no, sorry, you do buff go. And maybe makes them a little bit more scared. And then we'll use the last Blood Splattered Vest counter to flick a Kodachi. It's pretty good. I mean, gaining 3 resources on 1 turn, pretty solid. And then this card will force another block out of hand. Or force another armor piece or something. Okay, so you have the Mask of the Momentum out of the way. They have a 3-card hand. We are ahead on life, but we also have access to our quick dodge, which I think is quite useful. Question here is, do we want to try to go for a quick dodge, or do we want to maybe just try to play out the hand? I think playing out the hand is probably wiser. All right, so we've got a Bittering coming in. I think we're not supposed to block here. I think we're... Oh, well, actually, we just kill him with Flick on the next turn. Maybe we do block. We block 6 here, and then just keep, like, pick up the point plus path well traveled. You can also just block 6 on the next thing they're doing, though. Like, there's no reason to do it now. I think we're fine just passing. It's very unlikely that the 1 damage is going to kill us here. Even if they have, like, CNC or something, we just block 3 on it, and it's probably okay. All right, we have Kodachi coming in for 2. They could use the Blood Splatter Vest here and like gain a counter or get a resource, and maybe that hoses us, but I still don't think we're dead if they do that. All right, it's finishing on a weakest link, which is pretty solid. So this is, I guess, what we saved our blocks for, and I think we're just going to try to kill him with flick knives on the next turn. All right, so let's go for the needle. Or not the needle, the bad needle, the Kodachi. Alright, so they have to give us 3 block, which sucks. We'll regain a dagger, and then we can just flick it at them, and we should be good. I guess I will try to play around Sigil, but it seems like we're pretty far ahead anyways. I want to make a note here about Quick Dodge Flexor. I've had the hardest time using this card, by the way. I feel like I always end the game on this card, as opposed to, like, having it do something incredible. Like, I feel like I just never really saw a crazy opportunity to use it where we would just give up a ton of tempo. Yeah, but thank you, Robbie Rama, for the game. Let me take a look at your IRL list just so I can get some information. So we have Rowdy Locals, we have Sound Alarm, we've got a ton of reacts, very, very heavy react package. Weakest links and CNCs and sensors are all very, very solid, very normal IRA includes. But yeah, this deck seems pretty good. I think you're onto something here. Definitely seems quite solid. Maybe you want a couple more of like the blue ones just for you're looking for scraps, but deck seems pretty good. Yeah, pretty spicy. Even bigger than that though, too, is also kind of cool. Yeah, but that was a pretty good game. Let's see if we can get another. All right, so we've got an Arakni Marionette. Let's use our Kasaya, our quick dodge. I think we want our flick knives. Definitely want some more reacts into Arakni. I think I've been cutting the Bitterings. I don't know if there's another card I should be cutting. Maybe pick up the points are a reasonable cut, but I think those are just like fine. I think we'll try something like this. I've not seen a CYB Arakni yet, notably. I think most of them have just been on like the standard package. So let's go ahead and just do this. I think this seems fine. All right, so we got a pretty decent turn to start off with. So we had the Binding Brace for pitch, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're probably going to end up just flicking a dagger at them to up sticks. Maybe do that, attack. All right, we'll flick the dagger, play out the pick up the point, and then up sticks, rebuy dagger, arsenal aspect, and probably pretty good spot. All right, let's go ahead and rebuy the dagger and attack him for 5. Opponent is keeping a lot of cards in hand initially. All right, we got a yellow Mark of the Black Widow. That's foreboding. All right, we found Double Transcend, which is always good. Pretty good with quick dodge flexors, I've heard. So maybe this is the opportunity to use quick dodge. I feel like I've often... So quick dodge, I feel like, is almost a trap. And I've been asked a lot about this in various forums, but I feel like this card just like commits you to doing something that you don't always want to do. So like, let's say you have like 2 blues and a transcend card or something in hand, right? It just makes it super awkward to like just use your cards if you're like committing 6 or committing a card to defense and then only keeping 3 cards. It's like very, very awkward. All right, we're just gonna eat the CNC because there's no reason to block this. We'll lose on our aspect, but not the end of the world. All right, so they will go for a mark, which will allow them to transform. Pretty good. But yeah, nothing we can do about that. They'll go ahead and flip, and let's... Why did this not... When this hits here, mark them. Flick knives. What? Shouldn't we be marked? All right, Talshar is smoking something currently, but let's go ahead and do this. Let's put an aspect back in the deck. Gain a resource, and then transcend. We've got 2 cut-throughs. We'll put a chi, I think, on the bottom, and then gain a resource. So the interesting thing here about our situation is that we've kind of fucked ourselves. We don't currently have a way to give the Kodachis go again, which is not ideal. Okay, I guess we do. We can actually use flick knives. No. We've not completely fucked ourselves. Let's get swipe here. All right, I'm like calculating this turnout. All right, let's get swipe here. Play the Crouching Tiger. We can flick a Kodachi, which is not particularly good. But maybe it's okay just to turn the cut-throughs on. All right, yeah, we're a little bit in uncharted territory here, but I think that's what. No, I think it still works. So we can do cut through, up sticks, attack, and that's fine. We don't get to keep an arsenal, but I guess we can like arsenal cut through if we really want to, but we don't need to. So confused why we didn't get the mark. All right, well I guess it doesn't matter now. We get the mark. I guess it still does matter because they could have like flipped in like trapdoor or whatever. I think it's still fine. So let's go ahead and just develop out our cut throughs. Could arsenal one. They do have a CNC in the and the leave no one bin, so like their codexes are very live. To me, it is correct to just go for an arsenal just so we don't get blown out. It's definitely risky to not arsenal. All right, let's up. I think I'm gonna not get greedy. I think we're just gonna get the Kodachi for 3. Then we'll arsenal this cut through just so we're playing our own codex, which I think is worth it. All right, opponent's gonna block with the Justinic. Maybe lends a little bit credence to codex. We found our chi, which we bought him with Rising Sun and then shuffled, which is very funny. Love it when that happens. Zen just continuing to be a very fair hero. You know, actually, if Traverse didn't exist and you can just shuffle back chi and like use your shuffle mechanic to like shuffle back chi and like get it back like this, like I think that's a lot more fair than what Zen does with Traverse. But we're just gonna go ahead and take this here. One important thing about Marionette specifically is you almost never want to block a dagger attack that has stealth because of Tarantula Toxin. Like that card's messed up just being a 0 for 6 react. So if you have the opportunity to never block this card, do not block it. It's not worth it. All right, so they're going to hit and get go again. So pretty good for them. Wait. Am I marked and it just doesn't... Why did that hit and have good... All right, so something has to be wrong with Marionette. What? All right. Wait, this didn't give me good... What is happening to my mark? Hello? All right. Yeah, Talishar is I don't understand. I guess it's just broken. Sure. All right, let's go ahead and develop out our cut through. I feel a little bit bad because like we're playing functionally against a hero that does not work. But they are assassin players, so I guess we can bully them. Let's go ahead and do Crouching Tiger, Tiger Swipe, CNC, and then maybe flick a dagger at some point. I thought Marionette was working at some point. I don't know why these cards are not doing anything. Yeah, that's so weird. Like, am I just immune to getting marked or something? Right, no Kodachi, no Tiger. Let's just send in the CNC here. All right, so we get a double block out of them. We could have actually gone for the flick there, but it's whatever. Kind of thrown off by this game just by them not having the ability to mark me. I feel like I am marked or something. Like, I don't fully understand. But I think I'm just going to let them have this. Let's see if this applies the mark. Okay, that does apply the mark. All right, so they should now transform. They did transform. Okay, good for them. Let's go ahead and pitch our Biting Breeze here. Just so we can, like, throw dagger, Kodachi, throw dagger, do some stuff. It's pretty okay. Alright, we'll go ahead and throw our dagger first. So you can draw a card. Okay, chase the tail, not incredibly useful right now. Alright, let's go ahead and rebuy the dagger. Retrieve it. We can then pitch chase the tail if we want, or we can... I guess we can like play the other up sticks and then pitch to chase the tail. The sequencing on the stagger stuff gets pretty difficult sometimes, I feel like. Alright. So they've successfully marked at this point. I don't know why they weren't marking earlier. But yeah, very interesting to me. Alright, go ahead and pass back. Alright, we do have a pass over for a dagger, which is kind of funny. I'll try to remember to do it this time. I think I forgot to do it against another Arakni earlier. Alright, opponent will go for a Kiss of Death. How do we want to respond to this? Because they can always pump for +3. And then they can maybe like Tarantula Toxin, which is pretty bad. I feel like we're supposed to just like take this. And then maybe we just block with like Traverse or something. And then discard like Monkey or something. I think that's probably wisest. I think we need to probably accept that we're just going to get hit by this. We can maybe try to contest it, but I doubt that we're going to be able to successfully block it. See what they opt to do. Alright, so our opponent will activate Black Widow. One funny thing I learned today from one of our Zen friends is that apparently you can actually erase face flipped Arakni because it specifies an assassin card and targeted assassin attack will get the +3. All right, so opponent will discard a Lair of the Spider. Pretty good for them. All right, they don't want to react further. I think we will go ahead and try to contest this because it does also have the go again on it. So they now need to have another react if they want to push this over. Waxon has been, by the way, incredible against Arachnes and just all the new assassins. Very, very solid card. Probably, I think, just a mainstay at this point. Like, I think that and Wax On or Wax Off, I think, have gotten a lot better with the rise of the new assassins. Hopefully, we end up getting like a blowout here, though. All right, so we have Flick Knives coming in. Does that do anything? I don't know if it does. Maybe it does something that I'm not aware of. Not entirely sure what it does. All right, looks like opponent maybe is going to scoop it up. So they have a Concealed Blade and a Mark of the Black Widow. Okay, I think I see what they're trying to do. So they're trying... Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think there was something funky with the marking stuff. Because it seemed like something there was wrong. All right, let's take a look at our average value per turn. Not incredible, honestly. Feels almost like it's lower than normal Zen. But maybe my sequencing has also been like pretty bad. But yeah, definitely, I don't know. There might be something here with the stagger stuff. Like, I wouldn't write it off immediately, but I think that maybe there's other things Zen could be doing. And I think that's maybe not incredible into like the current meta of like frailty tokens and like stuff like that. So maybe it's a little bit weak against like that kind of stuff. And then it's definitely very awkward, I think, with like the chi stuff. Just not being able to constantly enable Kodachi is very awkward. All right, well, I think unfortunately that's gonna wrap it up for today. So we got at least one quality game in. The other two were kind of like weird, but yeah, this I think list is pretty interesting. I don't know if Kodachis are enough to justify like going fully all in on this dagger stuff, but they don't seem like terrible, terrible. They seem like they get really bad like late game against like CYP New or something. So I'm a little bit concerned about like that matchup with this deck. And then like I still don't know if your damage is even that much better than just normal Zen. Like I don't think the blood splattered vest is all that insane now, especially when you're not flinging Zephyr Needles. Like it feels like maybe some mix of this with just like Kasaya and Shuko is maybe more reasonable, or maybe you just run Flicker. So I don't know. But it feels like this is not a fully fleshed out deck. It feels like maybe there's something here though, potentially. Yeah, but I think that's going to wrap it up today. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.